Hello everyone, welcome to your full moon reading for August. So this full moon is the second full moon to fall in the month of August. The first one was in Aquarius on the 1st or the 2nd. This full moon falls in Pisces and it's on the 30th or the 31st of August, just depending on where you are in the world. Now, this is a blue supermoon, so expect the energies to be heightened. The blue supermoon, the blue just simply means that it's the second full moon in one calendar month. And that's where we get our saying, once in a blue moon. They're rare. This super blue moon could be a lucky time for some, with opportunities opening up and second chances could be available to you. The energies around this full moon will be whimsical, intuitive, imaginative and empathetic, like the Piscean energy. So this full moon will take on the energies of Pisces. It's the perfect time to allow yourself to breathe, to drift and dream. Your intuition will be heightened, so you'll accomplish more by letting your intuition guide you. This is not a time to overthink things. This is not a time to go into your mind and be too analytical. Pisces is not an energy of overanalyzing things. It's an energy of feeling into things. You are likely to be more sensitive and receptive to the world around you at this time, so give yourself time and space to take it all in. There's no rush around this full moon. Remember, the energies of the full moon is all about letting go, forgiveness, gratitude. And with this full moon in Pisces, compassion for yourself and others will be heightened. So be mindful though of disappearing into fantasies and of what doesn't serve you. So there is a sense here of the contradiction. As we dream, there is a possibility of falling into illusion. So there's a sense of being in the here and now, but still allowing yourself to be guided by your intuition and to be guided by your dreams, that whimsical side. But just be mindful that we can fall into that space of illusions and then the contrary of that, which is disillusionment. So just something to be mindful this month. But remember the energies of letting go. I feel August has really been all about letting go, releasing. I think with these two full moons in the month, what we started to release at the beginning of the month, and I feel that we've been doing that, especially with all the retrogrades that have been around in the month of August. I think we started with 5 and we're ending with 7. They bring about all those rewords, re-evaluating, rethinking, redesigning, replanning. It puts us into those rediscovering even. And I feel that there's a sense that in re-evaluating things, we actually move forward with our letting go. So what we started the full moon at the beginning of the month, it was right at the beginning and then we're right at the end of the month now. So the 1st and the 2nd was the first full moon, and now we're at the 30th and the 31st. So really the month has been all about releasing, and what we started to release at the first full moon this month, I think we're really going to be finalizing at the end of this month. Hi my friends, just a little side note, you'll notice that these moon readings, I'm changing them, so I'm always getting insights and feedbacks on my videos and finding ways to change them as I feel called to or drawn to, as people give me ideas. And so the full moon readings now will change. Not just the full moon, sorry, the moon pick a card readings will change. They'll still be in the format, my friends, of the pick a cards, but I'm not going to do them over a 4-week period anymore. I'm actually going to really concentrate on the energies that are at that full moon or at that new moon. Spirit will let me know, and I'll be guided to mention if the energies are likely to be just something that's concentrated over the full moon or the new moon, or if they're energies that are likely to peter out through the year, the rest of the year, the month. So the format, the new format for my moon readings will be, we'll have the 2 overall energies. We'll have three tarot cards as additional messages. And I'm taking the way that I do the next 7 days, the zodiac sign next 7 days reading, where I have a card, a deck that I use all the time in those readings, that is where the energies are playing out, or how the energies are playing out, or the aspect of yourself that the energies are playing out in, that I'm going to introduce that into the monthly readings as well, just to have a little bit more structure to the reading and to guide the reading to maybe a little bit more of a pinpointed area. So I hope you like this new format. Let me know in the comments what you think. So let's get started. Okay everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. For pole number 1 we have the black obsidian. For pole number 2 we have the picture jasper. For pole number 3 we have the aventurine, and for pole number 4 we have the amethyst. So take your time, select a pole by crystal, pole number, by just a pole that you're drawn to, and just know that there'll be a message in the pole that you select, or in each pole that you select, if you feel drawn to select more than one pile, that there's a message in there for you. Take your time, feel free to pause the video if you need to, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello pole number 1, welcome my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you at this full moon. So we have the King of Wands, we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the 2 of Cups. The overall energy, we have plant now, thrive always. And we have reflection and inner work first. Now where this is playing out, how this is playing out, or an aspect of yourself this is playing out in, we have the Moonology card, we have conclusions are within reach. So I like that card in your reading. And it really reflects, doesn't it, this reflection and inner work first. So I'm just gathering the energies and just checking with Spirit where they would like me to start. Okay, so we're going to start with your overall energy, pole number 1. And your first overall energy at this full moon is plant now, thrive always. And the affirmation is, I nurture, care for and love my future self. And this energy is particularly good at a full moon because there's a sense of what you do now, you'll reap the rewards, or your future self will reap the rewards. And you know, your other overall energy talks about inner work first. And there's a sense here that at this full moon, and I feel that because we've got the 2 full moons in August, I feel like between the last full moon and this full moon, we've really been working on, I feel, letting go of the aspects of ourself, letting go of past hurts and pains, so that our future self doesn't need to carry those anymore. So this plant now thrive always. I'm actually getting it a little bit differently, because it's almost like we're not planting seeds for the future. It's almost like we're cultivating the soil first. We're doing the inner work first. And it's almost like here we're actually preparing the ground. So we're making sure that the soil is malleable. The soil is not full of stones, where the roots and the plant will have to grow around them. The softer the soil, the more crumbly the soil, the more the roots and the shoot will be able to move freely. So what's the analogy of the images that Spirit's showing me in this planting, this cultivating the soil? It's all about, my friends, those stones that I'm seeing in the soil. They're our past hurts, they're our past pains, that they're basically our baggage that we carry around with us. And basically what they create in us is a sense of having to, or it's not, thank you Spirit, Spirit's not saying we have to, but we take those past baggages, if you like, those past hurts, pains, experiences, and they I know make is not the right word, but it's the only word I'm getting. They make us mold ourselves around them when we make new decisions. So they're part of our decision making. They create fears in us, they create doubt in us, they create experiences in us, which we then carry forward when we make decisions in our future. And there's a space here, pole number 1, of clearing those stones in the soil, so that you're not making your choices and decisions from past experiences or past pain or past hurt. You're making them from a place of new awareness, and new awareness of yourself. I like that the image in this picture is of a crone, so of an older person, and it's not showing age, it's a way of showing wisdom. We gain wisdom as we gain experiences, and it's our life journey. You know, our life journey is all about the experiences and the wisdom that we gain from them. So there's a sense here of, in removing the stones, you will gain the wisdom, you will gain the understanding. And I feel there's a sense here of, there'll be so much more freedom for your future self. So the work that you do now, my friends, is actually going to benefit your future self. There's an aspect here as well of, take your time. Take your time. This is not something you can rush. It's almost like the more thorough you are when you're sifting through the soil for debris, stones, the more, when it comes time to planting, there'll be more freedom as to how the plants grow, where they can be planted. And so there is a real sense here, pole number 1, that the way you will thrive in your future is very dependent on what you clear now. It's a message that's coming through really, really loudly from Spirit. And it really is, thank you, Spirit, so much for the word clearing, because that's what the analogy of the stones is. We're clearing the path in order for new ideas, new experiences to be planted without the obstacle of the past hindering us. I nourish, care for, and love my future self. And I think pole number 1, there's a real sense here of allow that to be your guiding force, because clearing things is not easy. And if you can stay focused and know that my future self's path is going to be so much easier for the work that I do now. You know, when we're planting a garden, the more we prepare the soil, we make sure it's aerated, we make sure there are no stones, we make sure that there's lots of fertilizer in there, that it's good, healthy soil. The more that seed has the potential to flourish. And that's what you're doing, pole number 1. You're creating the potential for your future self to flourish in an environment where it can, and healing past experiences, and at the full moons letting them go, releasing that energy that surrounds them. That's how we clear ourselves for new experiences. And you've got an ace here, and that's a gift from the universe that puts you on a new path. And I think that's what you're preparing for, the new path. Now, your other overall energy, pole number 1, is reflection and inner work first. And the affirmation is, my past supports my present. My past supports my presence. And look at, I'm almost seeing this as a doll. Look at how, it starts off very basic and it becomes a little bit more elaborate, and then it's more elaborate here. There's almost a sense of building on what you know, but how it changes along the way. If we, our past self is limited because every time we take a new journey, every time we have a new experiences, it adds to our knowledge, it adds to our story, it adds to our understanding. It helps us peel away those layers of our hidden self. So it helps us hone in more on our authenticity. And look at how you grow. And how well do these two cards speak together? Plant now, thrive always. Reflection and inner work first. And I nourish, care for, and love my future self. My past supports my presence. There's a sense here of what you do now, it supports your future self. And when you get to your future self, your past self is supporting your present moment. I feel that August has been a month, and this full moon I feel is going to be like the catalyst of the letting go of what's been accumulating for the month of August. But I really feel there's a sense here of really understanding, knowing and seeing what needs to be let go of. Because the aspect of yourself this is playing out in, or where this is playing out in your life, or how this is playing out in your life, you've got the full moon eclipse. And it says conclusions are within reach. And I feel this is Spirit saying you are in a position, you have the knowledge and the understanding to know what to let go of, to understand and know what no longer serves you, to see those experiences, that those past experiences, thank you Spirit, that are holding you back, that are stopping you from taking those decisions in the now and moving forward in some way. You'll see how the way that you look at things, the way that you see things and understand things now, how they will hinder your future self. So these conclusions are within reach. I feel pole number one, it's Spirit saying to you, there's going to be a lot of understanding at this full moon. There's going to be a lot of clarity on what needs to be let go of. You're going to come across situations, opportunities that help you understand what to let go of. And I feel that they'll come in the form of, you might stumble across a meditation that just facilitates you letting go. You might come across a conversation with a person that makes you realize what you're actually still holding on to. You're going to discuss something that maybe happened a long, long time ago, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm still talking about that. And then you're going to go, wow, there's still a lot of emotion attached to that. And that's going to be the catalyst that moves you forward to show you, gosh, I need to look into that because I obviously haven't let go of that. There'll probably be, or thank you Spirit, there's a likelihood of triggers around this full moon. People might trigger you, things around you might trigger you more than usual, and they're just there to show you, you know, look in this direction. Gosh, you know, why has that triggered me? And there'll be understanding that you gain through that. So I think there's a lot of understanding. You know, when we cultivate, going back to the analogy Spirit gave me of those stones in a garden bed, you know, if it's dark and you've got your sunnies on, your sunglasses on, you're not going to see those stones. So you're going to be fumbling around in the dark and you might find a few. But you know, during the day and the sun's out, you're really just going to be able to pick those stones out. You'll be able to see them clearly. And I feel that's what this card is in your reading. Conclusions are within reach. I feel like that you're going to see, you're actually going to be able to pinpoint exactly what in your life has the potential of holding you back in the now or in the future. What you release now will help your future self prosper. And then we have the additional messages with the tarot. We've got the King of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Two of Cups. And I feel there's a sense here with the King of Wands is coming to a level of understanding, because the King of Wands is the end of the journey of the court cards. It's also the end, the final card in the minor arcana in the Wands. So I see the King of Wands in your reading today, pole number one, as you having reached probably these conclusions, but also having reached a level, you know, a king is, it's like the top of the hierarchy, if you like. You know, there really, in a kingdom, it really isn't anything above the king. Intangible, you know, you can still put that there's a god above the king, but in the tangible world, king is the top of the hierarchy. And that's, I'm seeing that, and Spirit is showing me that just as an analogy. It's Spirit's kind of showing me that you're at the top of your game. You're at the top of your understanding on this journey that you have just reached the conclusion of. And it's very befitting, because the end of our journey, we understand and know so much more than we do at the beginning of the journey. And here with the King, there's a sense, the Kings for me are all about being of service. They're all about how we give back, how we use what we have accessed throughout our journey, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the aha moments, and how we share that. And I feel here in your reading, pole number 1, it's how you then take that information and understand it yourself. The Wands is all about your soul, your calling, your purpose, your passions, what drives you, what fuels you. And there's a sense here of that past journey, and the letting go is going to be based on this King of Wands, this understanding, this clarity that you now have on yourself. The journey has taught you a lot. Now we take that wisdom, we keep that wisdom with us, and there's a sense here of letting go of the experiences and the emotions that attach to that. We can't go back and change the past, so we need to kind of let it go, not keep re-evaluating, not keep saying, well, gosh, if I had the chance again, I would do this or I would do that. That initially is helpful behavior in the sense that we reinforce what our values are now. But to always go back and say, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that, is not helpful. It's not fruitful. It keeps us stuck in the past. It keeps us stuck in a moment of constantly reevaluating ourselves, constantly. We get stuck in that moment because we're always saying, I wish I had, I should have. Whereas if we go through the aspects of saying, yes, I understand that with the knowledge I have now as a king, I would do things differently. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that wisdom. What is that wisdom in the situation? So that next time if I find myself in that situation, I know that I would do differently. I let go of the past situation and just hold on to that new value, that new learning that I have, that new understanding of myself and who and what I want to be. And that's what I carry forth to my future, not the experience and the emotions attached to the past. That's what we let go of. And that letting go and that understanding, that wisdom that you take with you, Spirit then brings you an Ace of Wands. So that is like you're starting a new soul journey. You're starting your soul calling, your path, your purpose. Thank you, Spirit. I couldn't find the word. Is possibly changed, or it could be tweaked, or there could be a complete different way that you're going to come at this. And this Ace of Wands, the Wands, like I said earlier, it's your soul purpose, it's your soul's calling, it's your passions, it's your fire, it's what ignites something in you. It's what gets you fired up and out of bed in the morning. And the aces are a gift from the universe. So Spirit is offering you a new calling, a new path, a new way. And that leads you to the Two of Cups. And I think what a beautiful way of ending this, because this has been all about you, pole number one, and you doing things in alignment for you. And I'm really sensing here in your reading that there's somebody that comes in to assist you. There's a sense of partnership here. Now, this can just be one other person. This can be an association or a group, or it can be a new soul tribe family. It can be the deepening of your relationship with your family or with those already in your life. But there's a sense here that others come in, or another person comes in that will assist you, that you will move forward on this path with. There'll be connections that comes out of this new path. I'm wondering, pole number one, if a lot of you have really been on this soul journey leading you up to here, where it's really been you and your inner work, you and discovering how you are in the outer world. But the people in your life might have come and gone fairly quickly. You might have been dealing more with acquaintances, people that you meet for a moment and then, you know, they're not part of your life. You might have moved around a lot or had a lot of change in your life. And I get the sense here that there's going to be something a little bit more stable. The twos are very stable. They're partnerships, and I'm feeling this, the partnerships, the people that are coming into your life, they're going to hang around. There's going to be a little bit more longevity in it. And I feel that they're very different to maybe the people you've had in your life. And so they help you in this new journey that you're on. I'm really seeing help here. And it's very fulfilling. These new relationships that come into your life, I feel they don't only help you in your purpose and your calling, help you move forward with your passions, but I also feel they're very fulfilling. They could be any type of relationship, like I mentioned earlier, anywhere from business partnership, romantic partnerships, to, you know, newfound friends, new colleagues, the deepening of friendships and relationships that you already have that almost go to another level. You might find you've got friends or family that you never talked about your passions or your callings with, and suddenly you find that, wow, they're interested. Not only are they interested, but they themselves have been through something similar, so there's a deepening of your connection with them. Overall very beautiful energy for this full moon, but there is inner work, there is inner reflection, and I love the progression in the tarot, because it also shows how what you do now, this overall energy, your future self's really going to benefit, really going to be able to thrive. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number one. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number two. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you at this full moon. So we have the Ten of Wands, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Star. We have where this is playing out, or how this is playing out in your life. We have balance, spirituality and practicality. Kind of see that with the wands and the swords. And your overall energy, pole number two, we have small trials, annoyances, and we have love and romance are all around you. That's lovely. Okay, so I'm just grabbing the energy and just checking where Spirit would like me to start. Okay, so we're going to start with your overall energy. So the first overall energy is small trials, annoyances. And the affirmation is, I see every situation with love. And I get the feeling with this bird here, there are going to be things that pull you in that other direction at this full moon. There's going to be situations that may annoy you or trigger you, which is very befitting at a full moon actually. A full moon brings clarity on what we need to let go of, what needs forgiveness, and where we can feel grateful. So the full moons are that gratitude, forgiveness, and the letting go, the releasing. Now with this card, Spirit's saying, they actually said to me, look at the word small. And so pole number 2, I feel they're saying, don't look at trials and annoyances and think, ugh, look at the word small. So that's showing me, pole number 2, that there's a real chance at this full moon that you take small annoyances, small hiccups that happen along your way, the little things, and there is a potential here to blow them up into bigger things. So that can be in the sense of how we react to them. Sometimes that can blow them out of proportion. So there is a sense here of picking your battles, letting things slide. There's also a sense here of, she's got the card in front of her eye. So there's a sense here of illusion, I find. There's this sense here of, you know, you might trick yourself into making this a bigger deal than what it actually is. So your reaction to something might be blown out of proportion to actually to what actually happened. So that's just Spirit saying, just be mindful of that, pole number 2. Just be mindful of the extent that you're triggered to is probably due to a deeper reason rather than what actually triggered you in the first place. Spirit just gave me, don't shoot the messenger. So I've taken, and then I kind of went, oh, that's interesting. And Spirit just said, if it's a person triggering you, view them as the messenger. View them, they are just there to show you something. They're not there to annoy you. It's got nothing to do with the person that is in front of you or the situation that is in front of you. What you are being called to observe at this full moon is your reaction to it. So it's almost like, don't look at the cause, look at your reaction, because the messages, the guidance, the aha moments, the awareness is based in your reaction and not actually what's happening. I see every situation with love. And I think that's going to, oh, just almost got tongue-tied there. I nearly bit my tongue. I think I just really want to laugh because Spirit has a funny way of sometimes giving me images. Basically, I literally just nearly bit my tongue then, and it was almost like you will find yourself in situations, pole number 2, where just biting your tongue is the best solution. And I feel that what I was going to say before that is, I feel you may struggle to see love in every situation, and that's okay. And I think as I was going to say that, I think that's why I almost bit my tongue, because it's almost like Spirit saying, you know, if we can't come to everything with love, then maybe come to it with silence. And that's not like that, I just got the word snooty silence. It's not that silent treatment that we give people. Spirit's not talking about that. They're talking about just, if it's somebody sharing their opinion and it really triggers you, just let them share that opinion. You'll discover something about yourself in that reaction that you have, but try to observe your reaction that is in you, and try not to allow that reaction to come out of you, I think is what Spirit is really trying to say here, pole number 2. Because then you've got love and romance are all around you. And the affirmation is, I love and appreciate myself. And I think this is Spirit just saying, these small trials and annoyances, these situations, are here to show you aspects of yourself. And I feel that for a lot of you, pole number 2, this may lead to a deepening of love for the people around you, a definite deepening of the love that you have for yourself. So there's a sense that what you learn at this full moon about yourself actually has a knock-on effect in not only the way that you love yourself and appreciate yourself, but also in the way that you love and appreciate others. So that can bring new people into your life to love. That could deepen your relationships that are already in your life. So there's a sense here that you know, when Spirit said earlier, don't shoot the messenger, there's a sense here that if you are really aware, if you can really kind of stop in the moment and go, okay, there's something I need to, I'm being triggered. I'm going to just keep my opinions to myself. If you can, obviously, if you're being asked a question, share, but try to share in a way that is non-confrontational. The focus here is you, not the other person, not the situation. And I feel if you can really embrace that, pole number 2, I really feel that those aha moments, those lessons, that gained wisdom is really going to move you forward in your relationships. And you know, to the extent that it may just open you up to allow, you know, love to come into your life, a romantic partner, or the love of a soul tribe, soul friendships, a soul family. And there's a sense here of aligning in a way that opens doors for people to come in, but also opens the door to deepen a relationship or relationships that already exist. Very beautiful energy, because the energy started off quite, I want to say impactful. And I feel that you are going to feel confronted with these triggers. Like I really feel that these triggers that are going to come to you, the way that you're going to be triggered is going to be quite confrontational. And I feel there's a sense here of Spirit just saying, if you can take a step back from that, definitely look at ways that you might want to prove that you're right. And if you can avoid the need for your opinion to be heard or your opinion to be taken on board, I feel there's a sense that there'll be very few trials and annoyances. There'll be very, like, you know, it's very much like when we learn a lesson, we don't need to keep studying it. We know it, we can move on from it. And I get that feeling in this message here for you, pole number 2. So where this is playing out, how this is playing out in your life, we've got balanced spirituality and practicality, and it's the full moon in Pisces. Now, this is made even more potent because this full moon is in Pisces. So you've got the full moon in Pisces at the full moon in Pisces reading. So this is where it all boils down for you, pole number 2. And that is basically applying your spirituality, applying those things that you know, those things that you embrace when you're in a calm, quiet space, when you're meditating or doing yoga, applying those in your everyday life, applying those in situations that trigger you, applying those when, you know, you might be faced with people that are not standing in their spirituality or are not awakened, and how we can then come at them from a place of meeting their vibration, meeting their energy, instead of applying our own energy. There's this sense here of the practical world. That's your work, your home life, the way you interact with people on a daily basis, on the bus, on the train, at shops. And there's a sense here of bring your spiritual knowledge into that. I feel there's a gentleness that is required from you at this full moon, pole number 2. There's a gentleness and a fluidity with these fish of just, you know, if somebody drops a stone in your pond, just know that the ripple effects you'll feel the vibration of those ripple effects. Allow them to pass through you. Gain understanding from them, but don't hold on to them. It's not the other person or the situation that is important here. It's your reaction, and it's enabling you to see something about yourself that you previously didn't see. And I feel there's a way of how you can be a spiritual person in your everyday life. Because that's something that's not easy to do. You know, it's easy to be zen in your quiet space. It's much harder to be zen when you've got things annoying you, you know, those little things that tap on your nerves. But that's when we can embrace our spiritualness, our spiritual awakening, and apply that and go, oh, I'm being triggered here, that's interesting. The next time I'm in my quiet space, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to try and see, why was I triggered? What other aspect of myself do I need to heal, or do I need to understand, or do I need to embrace, and then move from there. Because I'm seeing with this, so with the tarot, we've got the 10 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, and the Star. I'm seeing here that there's a lot of work that you've been doing. So pole number 2, you've been doing this work. It says balance spirituality and practicality. You've been doing your spiritual work. You know, you've been working on yourself. And there's a sense of understanding how to apply that in your life now. How to apply that to the people in your life, the situations in your life. How to be, as I mentioned earlier in the example, how to be more zen in an environment that maybe is not zen at all. How to not allow the energies of others to impact your own energy. So I feel that you've been working on this, and I feel that with the Ten of Wands is the end of a journey. And the Ten of Wands is specifically this person taking his work, his harvest, to the town to be paid. So there's a sense that the hard work is coming to an end. Now, our spiritual journey never comes to an end. We just progress with it. We just learn more. We understand more. We uncover more about our authentic selves. But I feel here that there is an understanding that gets reached. And your Wands is all about your soul, your calling, your purpose, what fires you up. It's your passions. It can also be what makes you angry. You know, so some of you are understanding where your anger is coming from. Some of you are understanding maybe where your passion is coming from, what's actually driving that. So there's an understanding that is going to come of this. And I feel like you're really right there. It's at this full moon that you kind of drop the bundle and you receive your reward for the hard work. And the reward will be this understanding. And I feel that helps you to see in ways with this Two of Swords that you've possibly been blocking energies from coming to you. That could be love, because remember here we've got love and romance are all around you. It could be the way you appreciate yourself, the way you are, you know, we all give off a vibe. You know, we all, that, and when we say we give off a vibe, that's basically saying that we all vibrate at a certain level that people will resonate with or won't. And I feel with this, the swords are all about your mind, your intellect, your understanding, its ideas, clarity. And I feel with this it's funny how I said seven, how this Two of Swords is very much closed off. And I you know, you kind of, you know, if you saw somebody like this, you know, the word you'd probably get is back off, leave me alone. So you might be coming to understand, pole number 2, how your vibration might be giving that energy, where in actual fact you're trying to attract a partner. You'd love a partner in your life, or you'd love to attract friends, or you'd love to deepen connections, but your vibration, your energy is actually on a different level. And this full moon, because you've got the star next, the star is being visible. It is healing energy as well. And I feel this understanding really changes things for you. And the star as well is being seen. And I feel you're going to be seen for who you really are. It's almost like this aspect of you that you've been cultivating in your spiritual practices, it's actually going to be seen and felt in the practical world. So you're actually coming to understand how to apply your spirituality in your everyday life. And that then changes your vibration. And the star is being seen. People will see you for who you are. There's a sense here that you're probably dropping a lot of pretending, you know, or molding yourself in a way to fit in with others. You're not doing that anymore, pole number 2. There's a sense here that you will, it's not like you're going to impose yourself on others. Remember, your opinion here is not what's important. It's not saying you're right above somebody else. That's not what's happening here at all. It's just being you in a situation. And being you in a situation, and this is something that the majority of us, I believe, find really difficult to do, is to not defend ourselves. It's and when I mean defend ourselves, I mean explain ourselves. To not have to say, oh, well, you know, I'm like this because, or, you know, it's just to be you, and offer no explanation. There is no explanation required. There's a lot of deep understanding that's coming to you at this full moon. A lot about, maybe even, I'm really feeling like Spirit's just said to me, it just brought up the word values and beliefs. And maybe how your values and belief in your spiritual practices actually don't match what you do in your reality. So who you are in the real world. So there can be a disconnect between the two. I really have this sense of finding your place as well with this star. Finding your balance. I'm also getting a sense, I got the word mojo. A lot of you are getting your mojo back. A lot of you are getting that spark back. I think all this unknown, I think all this uncertainty, and that I'm getting a certain amount of worry from this card. Like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to close myself off to the situation, is what I'm getting with this Two of Swords. And I feel it's probably because you've been just working so hard on yourself, working, you know, behind the scenes, doing the inner work. And I feel it's almost like you need to look up and look at the world again and come back into the world and apply the healing that you've been doing on the inside. Apply that to your life, and then you'll see the healing that happens in your reality, in your outer world. I'm just getting a sense of gentleness with the Star card as well. Be gentle with yourself, my friends. There's a lot of information coming to you at this full moon, so just take it slowly. The more slowly you can go, the more you'll avoid those reacting to those triggers. You'll just be able to go, oh, I'm triggered. I'm going to just hold off doing anything right now, and I'll take that back when I've got a quiet moment and have a deeper look at it. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light, and blessings, pole number 2. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome to your full moon reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this full moon, at this full moon. So we have the moon, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Swords. The overall energies, we have a short trip away, deep relaxation, and we have a shift in perspective. And how this is playing out, where this is playing out, the aspect of yourself this is playing out in, we have hold your vision, fixed moon. So that's really interesting, because we've got a shift in perspective and we've got hold your vision. So it seems a little bit contradictory at first, but Spirit's just said to me it's not at all. I think hold your vision, Spirit said don't touch on that just yet, we'll get deeper into it. So let's start with your overall energy, pole number 3. And you've got a short trip away, deep relaxation, and the affirmation is, I gift myself time and space for healing and renewal. And I think the key word here is renewal. And I think that's what this shift of perspective is, and this hold your vision. There's a sense here that when we are renewed, you know, when we, it's probably not a word that we really use a lot, but, you know, if I was to use it, I just felt renewed. It's almost like saying, I felt re-inspired, like I felt inspired again. There's a sense of creativity in that, and there is a sense of I want to say re-blossoming or blossoming, because we can't re-blossom, can we? But there's a sense of blossoming. There's a sense of maybe you lost your taste for something, or something became mediocre to you, less interesting. It's almost like you lost your passion for it. And there's a sense here that in gifting yourself time and space for healing, that will be renewed on some level, in some way. It's a really deep message, pole number 3. So there's a sense here that I feel very much with this shift of perspective. Actually, Spirit's saying, oh, we'll probably come back to this, but Spirit's moving me on. So the other overall energy is a shift in perspective. And the affirmation is, I see things with clarity and embrace positive change. Now, how this is playing out, where this is playing out, aspect of yourself this is playing out in, we've got the fixed moon. And we've got hold your vision. So I believe here, pole number 3, a very clear message from Spirit is saying, it's not your vision that you're changing. Okay, so I really feel if this is resonating with you, pole number 3, you've got a vision. You've got something. There's something in you that is calling you. There's something that is pulling you in a certain direction. That's not where this shift of perspective is going to be. That's not where the change is going to be. I feel the shift of perspective is going to be in maybe the steps you take towards that. Maybe the way you're viewing it. There's going to be, I feel this comes from you. That's very interesting, because as I was saying that, Spirit said to me, or another. So for some of you, I'm hearing very clearly from Spirit that your shift in perspective is the way you were going to do this. Maybe somebody's come in and you're not doing it on your own. Maybe they come with their set of ideas and you're going to shift your perspective on how you thought things needed to be done. The way you were going to go about this. Maybe even who you were going to offer, if this is a service, maybe who you're going to offer this service to. However this plays out in your life, there's a sense here that there's either clarity that comes to you, through Spirit, your higher self, or it can be through what somebody says, a new person that comes into your life that changes things. There is a level of change here. It's depicted in the tarot as well. And I think with both your overall energies, because you've got a short trip away, deep relaxation, and it says, I gift myself time and space for healing and renewal. I feel, are you going to put this vision, are you going to say, it's not going to happen, I'm going to let it go? And in that letting go, does an aha moment come to you? Because then your other overall energy is a shift in perspective. I see things with clarity. I see things with clarity and embrace positive change. So there's an aspect here of taking time out, giving yourself, maybe you've been trying to forge ahead and you're just not making any leeway. Spirit saying, take a step back. Taking a step back gives you perspective, doesn't it? You know, when we zoom out of something, we tend to be able to see it more clearly. Other people, because they're not in the situation, they've got some perspective. They're back from the situation. They can often see it more clearly than we can. But with this hold your vision, it's not your vision that's changing. I feel the basis of your vision is true and real, and Spirit doesn't want me to use the word right. It's aligned. Thank you, Spirit. It's aligned. That's not what you're changing. I think you're going to be changing the way you come at it, or the way you go about it, the way you bring it into the physical world. If it's a service, it might be the way you offer the service. You know, if it's a job, you might find a new environment to practice in. I know I do get the sense that somebody's giving you some perspective, and that could be Spirit, that could be your higher self, or that can be a person in your environment, new or existing. But the clarity's coming. The clarity is definitely coming. But the first overall energy you got in the reading, pole number 3, is this short trip away, deep relaxation. The more you can be in a receptive energy, I think the more your perspective will be able to change, the more your perspective will grow, the more you will have that aha moment. You will have that clarity and understanding. The more you'll be able to implement changes. But I feel first there's a level of healing and taking a step back. And for some of you, I literally feel that this is taking a break. This is taking a short holiday, even if it's just a weekend away, a night away, or just, you know, just turning your phone off for the weekend and being in your space. You know, this can come through even in like a meditation, just something that gets triggered, or something that there's just this, oh my gosh, what did that person say? And there's this understanding that comes from that. But it's going to come in those quiet moments. And it says, I gift myself time and space. At this full moon, and like the days leading up and the days following, the more light you can make your schedule, the more you'll benefit from this full moon. There is a real sense here of slowing down, because it's not easy to shift our perspective. It's not easy to, you know, think we're heading in a direction. We're kind of, Spirit just showed me a train. You know, a locomotive, a train, you know, it takes a while to get going. They're heavy, but once it's going, it's hard to stop. You know, it takes time to stop. It's got to slow down first, ease itself into the stop. And there's this sense that, you know, you've been on this path. I feel like the vision is known. You've probably been at this, for some of you, I feel like for a few years already, trying to figure out what can I do? How can, you know, some of you may be just starting to figure out how to do it in your downtime, like it might be a hobby or something like that, but you don't know how to make it part of your life, or you know, there's so many different ways this can be playing out. But back to the locomotive, you know, changing perspective when you're already on a roll, you kind of need to step back to take a minute and go, okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take my foot off the accelerator and I'm going to see what's around me now, because I've been traveling for a while. You know, where am I at? What's around me? What's changed? What needs to change? And I feel when you stop like that, pole number 3, I really feel you're going to be like, oh, I'm so much further than I thought I was. Like this vision, you've progressed so much further than you thought. You're not at the beginning of it. You've actually started it. You've actually got understanding and passion and what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit, please? Direction in it. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. You know, you've already got direction. You've already been traveling along it. And sometimes when we're traveling along it, we can think, oh, I'm just not getting anywhere. Time's passing, but I'm not getting anywhere. And sometimes when we stop, we slow down and we go, where am I at now? Like literally do that. We can go, oh, wow. Well, I didn't realize, but I'm actually further along than I actually realized. So your vision is good. Your purpose, your calling, what fuels you is good. There's just going to be, I think, just that tweak in the road. Just that, I'm not calling it a detour. So Spirit said it's not a detour, but Spirit actually wanted me to say it's not a detour. So you don't think you're being put on a detour, because you're not. A detour means you go off a bit, learn something and come back to it. No, this is just, it's evolved. So it's a new path. And we see that you've got the Ace of Pentacles here, a gift from the universe that starts a new journey. So you've got the Moon, and I feel this is so befitting in your reading, pole number 3, because the Moon is, it's a major arcana, and it's basically Spirit saying you don't know the way forward, pole number 3, so you'll just need to operate with intuition and trust. And that's this card in a nutshell. This is the Moon, but behind the Moon is the Sun. And that's the promise that clarity will come, but first you must start the path. The Moon card, if the lobster or the crayfish or the crab stays in the water and waits for clarity before moving forward, the Sun doesn't come. It stays in the Moon card. It stays with all the unknowns. Because in this moment, the lobster is just analyzing everything. If I do that, this might happen. If I do that, this might happen. If I do that, this might happen. But it's all guessing. So there is a time for planning. There is a time of, you know, if in doubt, don't. But there also comes a time where you've kind of got a bit of a plan, and okay, your first step, you're not sure that that's going to be in the right direction, but you kind of feel that it'll get you started. Take that step, because the minute you take that step, more clarity will be shown. And then you take your next step and more clarity will be shown. But the clarity only comes as you start your path. And I feel for you, pole number 3, that's where your vision's at. You've started your path, you're along it. There's more clarity coming. There's a change of perspective. And that changes your path. It doesn't change your vision, it doesn't change your purpose, but maybe how you're going to go about it, maybe what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. This will apply differently to all of you depending on what this vision is. And you've got the Ace of Pentacles, and this is a gift from the universe of a very tangible nature. So as this clarity comes, as your perception of what is or what you want changes, as you heal and renew, you get this renewed energy to follow this vision. Tangible things will come into your life to help you. The Pentacles are seeds. They're seeds that you can plant. They will grow. They have longevity to them. The Pentacles are all about the tangible things of our world. So Spirit, the universe is offering you the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a new journey in the tangible world. This is a seed that you can plant that moves you forward on your vision, on your calling, towards your calling. And there's longevity here. Now there is, with the aces, I mean, you know, in the cards, the aces are followed by the twos and then the threes, but I always see the ace and then the page, because the court cards are the people cards, and I see them very much as the you. So you take that Ace of Pentacles and you move forward with it, and the pages kind of are the planning aspect of it. So the Ace of Pentacles is a gift from the universe, but in order for it to be anything, you have to accept it. You have to take it and do something with it. So there is action required behind this. There is also, you know, learning. It's a new journey. There's going to be growth. And that leads you to the Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords is that receptive energy. The queens know they will receive what they need to receive in order to continue their journey. You know, they allow, like the knight put things into the ocean. It's an analogy of, you know, put things out there, allowed the tide to take them out. Now the Queen is very much allowing the tide to come back and bring in things for her that she needs. The Swords is your mind, it's your intellect, it's your wisdom, clarity. It can be your intuition a little bit as well. And I also see it like the ego. And so there is an aspect here of being aligned with your authentic self, and that means embracing all aspects of yourself, having a certain understanding of yourself, having an understanding of your ego, and working with all aspects of yourself for this journey. And she knows that the understanding that she has in this present moment, she'll receive to that level. So she'll be able to see what is for her, what comes in for her and what doesn't. So what does that mean in your reading, pole number 3? It basically means that you've started the path. We see that, and that's why we get this renewal. The renewal is suddenly there's going to be renewed energy, renewed passion for your goals, your vision, your purpose. because there's been a change of perspective. There's something that you're understanding a little bit differently, and I feel that's because you've been taking these steps. So there's clarity that's been coming. There's an opportunity that comes in your tangible world. That could be extra resources that you need. It can be people. It can just be opportunities like a new job or a new opportunity to put yourself out there. And the Queen of Swords is that receptive energy. So know you're going to take it. You're in a position where you understand what's coming to you, so you can actually make good with it. You can actually do something with it. And you move forward. Gosh, there is a real aspect here, pole number 3, of really gaining clarity about yourself and your journey, but not even just yourself, but I really feel on your journey. This is really about your purpose. This is really about your vision. And I feel that you're gaining more and more understanding in that. And that's really beautiful, because that's when we really move forward, and that's when we're in real alignment. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 3. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you at this full moon. So we have Judgment. We have the 7 of Swords, and we have the 10 of Swords. Beautiful. Where this is playing out, how this is playing out, or aspect of yourself this is playing out in, we have a new romantic cycle begins. The overall energy for this full moon, we have pollinating abundance, and we have success and gain through hard work. Okay, just going to grab the energies from Spirit, see where Spirit would like me to start in your reading. Okay, we're starting with the overall energy. So we've got pollinating abundance, and the affirmation is, I am grateful for my bounty. And I immediately, as I finished that affirmation, I immediately got through whatever that means to you, pole number 4. Whatever that means for you. And I'm getting a sense here with this beautiful image of real uniqueness. And a real, I'm really getting in this reading, there's a sense here of really looking outside the norm of what our ego might view as abundant, what society sees as abundance. And I really feel with this card, pole number 4, there's a sense of reconnecting with the little joys of life, the little things that sometimes we can walk past and not notice. But I'm really getting a sense here of, you know, walking past a beautiful garden and really seeing it and feeling its vibration, feeling like with these bees in the garden, feeling the hum of the garden. And I think it really touches you. There's a sense that I feel you're going to see the world through much more gentler eyes. I think you're going to see beauty where maybe you never saw it before. And this leads to you seeing possibilities where you never saw it before. When we change our perspective on things, when we see things differently, when we really tune into what's around us, we actually open ourselves up to seeing opportunities, to to seeing what's literally right there in front of us that we can often just disregard or not even notice. I'm getting a lot of messages from this reading, and definitely one of, you know, with the bees, you know, she's got a beehive on her head, there's a little bee here, she's holding a beautiful bee in her hands. And there's a sense here of having done the work. You know, bees are, you know, they're busy. They've got a job to do. And I feel it's not, it's, what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit, please? It's kind of aligned work. It's, there's a word that I'm looking for. It's mindful work. It's not running around trying to do everything in a day. It's being mindful about exactly what needs to be done. It's being mindful of, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do this properly. Thank you, Spirit. It's very thorough. It's methodical. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. So the work that you've been doing has been methodical. It's thorough. It's taking the time to cross your T's and dot your I's. It's not multitasking, bit here, bit there, bit there, bit there, bit there. No, it's not that. It's doing one thing and doing it well. It's not perfectionism. Spirit's been really, really mindful about saying that. It's not getting stuck on the nitty-gritty. Not at all. It's just doing things to the best of your ability without falling into it having to be perfect. But it's good. It doesn't, you know, a bee doesn't do its head in. You know, a bee will go to the flower, and when there's no more pollen in the flower, it will go to another flower. It doesn't keep trying to, you know, go, well, where is the pollen? Where is the pollen? I've got to get it. It'd just be like, okay, then this flower has no more for today, or let's go to another one. You know, so you're not hitting your head against a brick wall. You're not trying to make things happen with something that isn't there. And there's a real sense, I'm getting a sense of beautiful energy. You're surrounded by quite a beautiful energy. And I feel it makes you grateful, because I don't think the energy has been like that for a while. I think that you're really moving on from those difficulties in your life, pole number 4. Or because this is a full moon reading, you could be just letting go of those difficult situations that were in your past and just no longer letting them have a hold on you. And then you've got, you know, very befitting, you've got success and gain through hard work. I thrive in all aspects of my life. There's so much gratitude here because you're seeing how you thrive. There's so much gratitude because I feel like you're starting to see what the hard work was all about. And I really feel this is in all aspects of your life. It can be romantic, it can be work, it can be your finances, just your everyday life, just the people that are in your life. I feel like suddenly life becomes easier. For some of you, life actually becomes more simple. And I feel that's this energy of, the bees don't, you've got the worker bees that go out and get the pollen. You've got the soldier bees that look after the hive, protect the hive. You've got the queen bee, and she reproduces. So every bee has a different job, and one bee doesn't try to be another bee. It was built to be that particular bee. Their bodies are actually different. And so it's working with what you have, pole number 4. It's working with who you are. It's working with where you are right now. And there's a certain level when we understand that, when we're not forever trying to change things, when we accept where we are and we go, right, okay, there's blessings in here. I'm grateful for the bounty that I have here. It might not be at the level that you want it, but there is a sense of having moved forward. There is a level of success and gain. And rather than focusing on, well, I had to work really hard for it, you're going to focus on the aspect that you're thriving. You're not going to focus, well, you're not going to feel entitled for, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, that's beautiful. You're not going to feel entitled for what comes into your life. You're going to feel grateful for it. Because you're not going to be like, oh, I worked so hard for this. Because when we feel entitled for things, often what comes in generally doesn't meet our expectations. So it doesn't bring happiness or joy, or we don't feel grateful for it. But when you come at things that I'm thriving, I've got more than I had yesterday. And when I mean more, it can be understanding, it can be love, it can be anything, finances, people. And it's acknowledging that we are in a better, so when I say more, it's acknowledging that we are in a better place than what we were yesterday or in our past. So there's a sense here, instead of looking at all the hard work you've been doing, pole number 4, you're looking at the ways that you're thriving. And that makes you feel grateful. And how this is playing out, where this is playing out, aspect of yourself this is playing out in. You've got the new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. Now for some of you this is love, but for some of you the word romantic here is not a romantic partnership. It's romantic in the sense of there is romance in your life, meaning you love what you do. You feel your life is beautiful. You give time to what's in your life. You give emotion and feeling, and there's joy. So there's that romantic aspect to it. I'm finding it difficult to because romantic, we always think romantic as in it being romantic in the sense of a romantic partnership, a romantic relationship. But thank you, Spirit. Spirit's just said probably a good way to explain this is by pointing towards romantic furniture, soft furnishings that are romantic. They're gentle and they're pretty and they're, so it can just feel that your life just feels romantic. Your life feels gentle. It feels beautiful. It feels comfortable. But for some of you, this can definitely be romance. It's all about balance as well. A new balanced cycle begins. And I feel this balance between what you've been doing and what you're receiving. I feel that if it's been out of balance, it will be rebalanced. And I feel this is the universe stepping in. For some of you, this can be, you've been really doing the inner work. You've been healing from maybe past relationships in your life. And now you're in a place where, you know, there's a certain amount of healing. You're open again. So Spirit will be able to balance things and bring you, you know, a loving partner because you are ready. You know, this could be in jobs, or it can be in just in life in general. But there is a sense here of leveling up and balancing out. There is a sense here of fairness as well. Like I don't feel like you're going to feel that the world is unfair. I think there's clarity that comes at this full moon and what you're releasing, what you're forgiving, and so much for you, pole number 4, what you're being grateful for really opens the door to you. And I feel like the balance of what's left your life and what's about to come in is going to be put into place. That's a really beautiful energy. So be interesting to see how your September goes, my beautiful pole number 4. But there's really this sense of, you know, opening the door to allow the universe to balance things out for you. And look at this. First tarot is the Judgment. Oh. Major Arcana. How the universe steps in and helps us. And the Judgment, I think it's so befitting for a full moon card because the Judgment raises us out of our past. It's almost like, okay, you're here now because of the choices and decisions you made in your past. Now let's understand that your knowledge is different now than what it was back then. So let's leave the past in the past, and now with this newfound knowledge, rise up and walk into your future as the person you are now, not the person you were in your past, and not with the baggage of your past. So there's this sense with this Judgment card in your reading, it's almost like your guardian angel, the universe, God, Spirit, is blowing away the cobwebs of your past. So you're no longer constricted by them or tied by them, limited by them. This is also, you know, Spirit will call to your attention how you judge yourself and how you judge others. And there'll be clarity that comes to you in that sense. And when we see aspects of ourselves and how we judge ourselves, how we judge others, generally how we judge others is how we judge ourselves. So when we see that, it enables us to clear that. And more space is made. Because we're not carrying around all that baggage. We're so much lighter and we've got space for new things to come in. So it opens the door for new experiences. And I feel for you, pole number 4, with this 7 of Swords here, it opens you to the possibility of more opportunities. And it opens you to understand which are yours and which are not yours. It enables you to see, well, others have got their path. You've got yours. There's this sense of acceptance that I'm getting with this 7 of Swords in your reading. There's a real sense of accepting others for who and what they want, and you for who and what you want. They're different. That's why we never take other people's opportunities. We might feel we do when we've won a job over another person, but if that job was for that person, they would have got it. And it's seeing the opportunities that is for us. You will see, pole number 4, what opportunities are out there for you. You have that clarity. You won't need, you know, back to this bee analogy where you're jumping from one thing to another, and you know, you won't need to do that, because you'll be like, no, I don't need to worry about these things. They're not for me to worry about. You know, this can come under the aspect of how sometimes we take on other people's responsibilities. We do it because we want to help, but we rob that person of the chance to learn and grow by them doing it themselves. And we also rob ourselves because we dilute our energies, our time, doing things that are not meant for us. And I feel you're seeing that. You're no longer trying to be the soldier bee that does the worker bee's job, or you know, the worker bee that wants to be the queen bee. You just want to be you. And this Seven of Swords is allowing others to be themselves and you being you. And allowing yourself to step out of the crowd. And we finish this full moon reading for you, pole number 4, with the 10 of Swords. And I feel that brings a journey to an end. I feel that you're going to see these new opportunities, and it really, like this yellow is really the day dawning. Seeing these new opportunities sets you on a different path, because you've got more understanding, you've got more clarity, and you've got this new romantic cycle begins. There's a new cycle starting, and you're definitely ending the old one. The 10 of Swords is the definite ending. It is, you're not going to revisit that path. You're not going to revisit that relationship. You're not going to revisit that job or that lifestyle or that aspect of yourself that you were in the past. This is the definite ending of a journey. And when we end things like this, we're really leaving it behind, because look at these two energies around this opportunity, seizing your opportunities, seizing your moments. You've got Judgment and the 10 of Swords. Now, the Judgment is, you know, the people were already dead, if you like. You're not dying, my friends, but, you know, an aspect of yourself or a path is finished with, and they're actually coming out. There's a new beginning for them, and you know, you don't come back from this. And this just symbolizes that it is the definite end. You know, if you decide, you know what, I really don't want to do this anymore, that decision will be so real, so concrete for you. The 10 of Swords is, you just don't do that anymore. You move on from that so definitively. Thank you, Spirit. That's so great. Definitively. There's a level of certainty in you, pole number 4, at this full moon. This clarity that comes in for you. And it really moves you forward, and it really shows you this is severing ties with what was, that no longer serves you. Cutting those cords. I actually just got, maybe even if you do meditations, like cord cutting meditations, might be really, really helpful for you. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 4. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.